And we're live. What if I told you there is a way to use your troubles and obstacles that you're facing in your life today to bring you to the next level, where you want to go and who you want to be? Stay tuned because that's what I'll be sharing with you in this video. What's up, Revo Nation? I'm Vince Revo. I'm an entrepreneur, coach, fitness lover, and in this video, we're going to bring you to the next level, I promise you. So I was driving by these half-built buildings that were rotting away in the Philippines, and I drove by so many of these. They were everywhere, and I was wondering what these were, and I found out that they were basically half-built projects. In a lot of areas, there's these giant ditches on the ground, and you might see it in your local city, neighborhood, these giant ditches on the ground of half-finished projects. The truth is, in order to get a giant skyscraper off the ground, you need to dig really deep. So the problem that you're facing today, the bigger your trouble, the higher you can climb. But here's the catch. You need to actually develop. And when these buildings actually develop, there are these huge, magnificent skyscrapers that humanity can appreciate, go up, take photos. There's different events that you can do. There's probably restaurants there. You can jump off some of them. There's sightseeing locations. And there's so many benefits when these actual structures develop. And there's so many benefits for you if you actually develop from these problems, because the problems that you're going through are those ditches that are getting you in the trenches, that are getting you dirty, that are getting you messy, that are the result of really tough days, that are a result of a lot of pain, a lot of digging. And if you develop through those, you'll be a better you, you'll be a better father, mother, you'll attract better people in your life, you'll be a better businessman, you'll make more financial, you'll be healthier, you'll be more emotionally stable, you'll be more confident. There's unlimited benefits to you if you can actually develop from that ditch. And the drawbacks are the complete opposite of that, right? You'll just live a more painful life. You know, you might regret not being a good father or parent, and your kids will resent you. You might have broken relationships. You might be stuck financially. Your health might not be where you want it to be. Your fitness level might not be where you want it to be. Emotionally, you might be unstable. You might want to be your ideal self, but you can't reach it because you're staying in that ditch, because that ditch isn't developing. And there's two main obstacles when we're talking about developing that skyscraper within you, where the sky is the limit. In fact, the moon is the limit. And number one, it's just not being aware. Some of us will focus so much on the emotion that ditch is causing, that problem, that obstacle is causing, because if there is a problem in your life, chances are it's causing you a lot of emotional distress. And that emotional distress will create inaction. It'll create you to freeze. And I went to the New York Film Academy, and there's this thing that we used to do for actors in film school. And it was this: if they wanted to evoke an emotion, they would start with a motion. So for example, if somebody wanted to show that they were sad, they might move slowly, and they might put their head down, and they might just talk softly. And that would evoke an emotion. And if they wanted to do something different, like they wanted to show excitement, they might move their hands around, and that might cause excitement, and that might cause, high energy vibrations coming out. If they wanted to express anger, they might punch their fist or stomp the ground or move really rapidly, and that would create kind of that emotion. And a lot of times when you're going through the emotion of the ditch, of the problem, what happens is you get stuck and you don't do anything. But the best way to break out of that emotion is motion. Move. Then you'll break out of it. I'll give you an example. People that are in abusive relationships. Now, I'm not just talking about the typical, household abusive relationship. It doesn't have to be physical abuse. It could be emotional abuse, mental abuse, financial abuse, whatever it is, right? You can do two things when you're going through pain, right? When you're going through pain, it can equal more pain, or it can equal more power. And it's up to you and what you do about it. Now, in an abusive relationship, if you just allow the person to continue to abuse you, then it will result in more pain, less power. But if you cut it off, or if you communicate, or if you stand up to that person, that pain that you're going through is now gonna turn into more power. So let's talk about the solution. The solution is you need to be aware of the problem, and not just to be aware of the problem, but you need to be aware of the ditch and aware that this ditch needs to develop. Otherwise, it's going to be a half-built building, or it's going to be a ditch that when rainy days comes, it just stays muddy and it gets wet, and people drive over it and they think, unfinished business, undeveloped, ran out of funds, didn't manage it well, whatever it is. Anytime you go through a development that hasn't been finished, it's just rotting away. And you don't want to be that person that is going through your problems and instead of dealing with them, instead just rots away. You want to be the type of person that takes that emotion, that takes that ditch and develops it. And the bigger your ditch, the higher you can climb. You need to take whatever problem that you're going through, and you need to take it by the horns, and you need to act. You need to do something. You need to get out of there. You need to get in there. You need to stop procrastinating. You need to develop you. Develop your skyscraper. Because if you don't, then it'll just go to waste. But if you do, you break out of that. And if you stop focusing on your emotion and instead focus on motion, focus on action, focus on what you can do to get out of there. Not focusing on being in there, but what's in your circle of influence that you can affect, that you can move, that you can change, that you can develop. Tell me in the comments below what problems you guys are facing. I promise I'll look through the comments and I'll comment on them. But what problems are you going to turn into power today? What pain are you going to turn into power today? Is it the pain of not being in shape? Go to the gym, start eating healthier, start fasting, go read a book on how to be healthy. If it's your finances, study finances, go get a second job, ask your boss for a raise. What can you do to get that raise? What can you do to earn that raise? If your business sales are down, then learn how to sell, focus on sales, improve your product. Whatever it is, you can overcome. Revo Nation, like this video, you can do it. I love you, I respect you, you can overcome, you're capable, you're deserving, you're worthy, and it's time. It's time to overcome. Maybe you're not there yet, but what's important is you're getting there. Make sure to like and subscribe this video, and if you like this one, you'll probably like this video.